Hi everyone, and welcome to the opening ceremony or opening message of Duke's Coalition for Preserving Memories, or CPM's annual 24-hour name reading ceremony. I am not speaking from the script here, and this is probably the 9th or 10th time I've tried to record this message because I truly don't have words to express how grateful and how in awe I am that over 250 readers came together for the ceremony this year and took time out of their crazy quarantine experience to still reflect and remember with us from afar. For those of you unfamiliar with the event, Duke's Coalition for Preserving Memory, which is a genocide and mass atrocity awareness and activism organization, has organized and facilitated a 24-hour name reading ceremony for victims of mass atrocity and genocide for the past 8 years on Duke's campus. Due to COVID-19, the ceremony was virtualized this year. We reached out to hundreds of people, multiple organizations, to try to recruit readers to submit 5-minute videos of reading names. And then we consolidated, actually Josh Rabinowitz, who is a wonderful and so valuable CPM member, consolidated all of those videos into a full 24 hours of reading that will come now. I want to take this opportunity in this opening message to thank each and every one of our over 250 readers who contributed and say truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. This name reading ceremony is the most meaningful experience and opportunity I've had throughout my college career. I will continue to reflect, remember, and read after I graduate Duke in May. And this year especially, I really have no words, even though I'm a linguistics major, to express how inspired I am that so many people have read this year. I am the granddaughter of a Holocaust survivor, and reading names is something I feel a moral obligation to do. And it is more important as the years go on that we continue to remember the voices and stories behind the names we read. This year especially, we are in a mass atrocity, and it may not be ethnic cleansing, but COVID-19 surely is. This coronavirus pandemic surely is. And I am humbled and grounded that so many people volunteered to read names, in addition to names from the Holocaust, from Armenia, and unfortunately so many genocides. People volunteered to read names of victims of COVID-19. We had multiple healthcare professionals from Duke and beyond volunteer to read the names of their colleagues, their brothers and sisters who passed away on the front lines, fighting for others' lives to survive this horrific disease. I, as I said, am at a bit of a loss of words to know how to really thank all of you. My heart is so full that our drive of videos was so full this year and we had so many submissions. But I can quote a saying I think is really powerful. This year I took a film class at Duke, and for this course we watched a film called Bohemia, which takes the Bohemian massacres of predominantly 1943 as its subject. The Bohemian massacres were an ethnic cleansing conflict, were comprised of an ethnic cleansing conflict, several ethnic cleansing conflicts between Poles and Ukrainians in the area of Bohemia, which is situated between Poland, Ukraine, and Belarus. And These massacres resulted in the deaths of 40,000 to 60,000 Poles and 2,000 to 3,000 Ukrainians, as well as the forced migrations of thousands more. The opening quote to this film, Volhynia, which is also known as Hatred in the US, is the Poles in the East were murdered twice, the first time by the stroke of an axe, and the second time by silence. The second death was worse than the first. And this quote was taken from an eyewitness of the massacres. I think it's incredibly salient for what we do, what we've all done in this ceremony, and to frame the next 24 hours of reading. We cannot forget these names. We can't forget these people. Everyone deserves to have a voice, and these voices of these people whose names we read were wrongfully silenced, and they deserve to be remembered and recognized by us. And I want to assure anyone who is facing mass atrocity currently that we and Duke CPM and all of our readers, we see you, we hear you, we will not forget you, we will not forget your name. The goal of this ceremony is to bring hundreds of people together from all corners of the world. This year we have readers from India to California to London to Durham. We aim to bring all of these people together to raise our voices up against mass atrocity and genocide, and to remember those we've lost at the hands of it. Once again, I thank you sincerely for your interest in taking part in this ceremony, and for our readers for reading. And I hope that all of you take away from this ceremony both the gravity of the situations that prompted it, including genocides and mass atrocities that go on today, as well as the humanity that we remember and the people behind these names. And without further ado, welcome to the first ever virtual 24-hour name reading ceremony from Duke's Coalition for Preserving Memory, and the 8th annual in total. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to our readers for reading.
I remember Zyla Hassani, Kosovo War. I remember Lajos Lieblich, the Holocaust. I remember Gasa Ruande Vedaste, Rwandan genocide. I remember Noor al-Abdullah, the Syrian civil war. I remember Gajwech Gajlak Monyute, the South Sudan civil war. I remember Cecilia Rottenberg, the Argentine dirty war. I remember Dawid Manala, the Holocaust. I remember Rurangira Dada, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Yehudit Wade, the Holocaust. I remember Chan Kai Sui, the Cambodian genocide. I remember Lilia Patzla, the Holocaust. I remember Hosdich Bayazit, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Ali Ibrahim al-Ramlat, the Syrian civil war. I remember Hakizim Fura, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Nyawu Muntu, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Jorge Luis Romero, the Argentine dirty war. I remember Israel Slomovic, the Holocaust. I remember Salomon Son, the Holocaust. I remember Shiaka J. Bosco, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Salkic Jevad, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Levi Langa Day, the Holocaust. I remember Sadri Deskaj, the Kosovo War. I remember Sahara Ansiet Chef de Famille, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Mutaz al-Shaheri, the Syrian civil war. I remember Fazli Hassani, the Kosovo war. I remember Mohammed Hassan Morbieh, the Syrian civil war. I remember Murerwa Christine, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Faivish Nadel, the Holocaust. I remember Lena Levina, the Holocaust. I remember Isaac Sealtiel, the Holocaust. I remember Mihir Kumar Sen, the Bangladesh genocide. I remember Bagharad Isagian, the Armenian genocide. I remember Zeshia Finmesser, the Holocaust. I remember Ivan Zarich, the Kosovo War. I remember Kalisa, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Ahmed Masur al-Masur, the Syrian civil war. I remember Mujic Mujo, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Bassem Ani, the Syrian civil war. I remember Mohammed Qassem Nafsia, the Syrian civil war. I remember Jamal Matar, the Syrian civil war. I remember Mohammed Khalid al-Hassan, the Syrian civil war. I remember Maria Isabel Reynoso, the Argentine dirty war. I remember Ahmad Salih al-Zien, the Syrian civil war. I remember Ahmad Adnan al-Hamad, the Syrian civil war. I remember Mukarugango Ansile, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Marchard Gabi, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Jonus Kana, the Kosovo war. I remember Mehmedovic Halil, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Kaldun Kasab, the Syrian civil war. I remember Malagik Nezir, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Nyamurinda Innocent, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Oscar Ernesto Coca, the Argentine dirty war. I remember Afrim Gukati, the Kosovo war. I remember Mustafik Rauf, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Ruranjirwa Athanaze, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Habimana Gasirabo, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Mohammed Mirshed, the Syrian civil war. I remember Syed Faraj al-Abdullah, the Syrian civil war. I remember Edjubovic Alija, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Richard Reich, the Holocaust. I remember Boseni Bamwe Vumilia, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Malkich Mujo, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Makuak Wel Quote, the South Sudan civil war. I remember Mohammed Jamal Abdul Aziz al-Kabi, the Syrian civil war. I remember Hamazab Madoyan, the Armenian genocide. I remember Chaya Halpert, the Holocaust. I remember Tsali Levin, the Holocaust. I remember Zemile Morina, the Kosovo war. I remember Fatima Abdul Hafiz al-Mustafa, the Syrian civil war. I remember Ndutiye Paineti, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Sarah Bricker, the Holocaust. I remember Arif Berisha, the Kosovo War. I remember Giragos Gapzimalian, the Armenian genocide. I remember Toba Junger, the Holocaust. I remember Rashad Adnan Idris, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Petar Mladenovic, the Kosovo War. I remember Rashid Fuzi al-Sobi, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Khan Dan Ya, the Cambodian genocide. I remember Ali Ahmad Mizar al-Rawi, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Faiva Merkeles, the Holocaust. I remember daughter of Amma Mamdouh al-Hussein, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Mina Wormser, the Holocaust. I remember Moshe Krieger, the Holocaust. I remember Shandel Koenig, the Holocaust. I remember Bekrish Meho, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Kaitesi Claire, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Mohammed Bader Mustafa al-Dubel, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Bilal Khalid Rad, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Berbatovci Ismail, the Kosovo War. I remember Alemich Sead, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Kam On, the Cambodian genocide. I remember Juan Luis Alberto Villarreal, the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Musen Walid Msenesh, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Miodrag Yankovic, the Kosovo War. I remember Mohammed Abdullah Yunus, the Syrian Civil War. I remember Hafizovich Hassan, the Bosnian genocide. I remember Gazar Kasbarian, the Armenian genocide. I remember Liv Davy, the Cambodian genocide. I remember Rafael Darakian, the Armenian genocide. I remember Jorge Alberto Andreani, the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Ngabonziza Richard, the Rwandan genocide. I remember Seinyange Zaverian, the Rwandan genocide.
I remember Mwikararago Alfred, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mukampunga Veneranda, Rwandan genocide. I remember Selimovic Mushka, Bosnian genocide. I remember Mehmedovic Ahmo, Bosnian genocide. I remember Abbas Koder, Syrian Civil War. I remember Ida Bemoiras, Holocaust. I remember two unidentified, Syrian Civil War. I remember Reynaldo Sáenz Bernal, Argentine Dirty War. I remember Mukamana Epiphany, Rwandan genocide. I remember Ayen Mangar Iwen, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Rafal Bersisiuska, Holocaust. I remember Hagop Papazian, Armenian genocide. I remember Esther Sentov, Holocaust. I remember Jivich Syria, Bosnian genocide. I remember Haitham Hamadi, Syrian civil war. I remember Ruamadagashia Charles, Rwandan genocide. I remember Julio Vicente Decima, Argentine dirty war. I remember Murerwa, Rwandan genocide. I remember Jacob Rosenbaum, Holocaust. I remember Mbayingabo Jean, Rwandan genocide. I remember Khaled Hamed al-Rahum, Syrian civil war. I remember Mohammed Abdul Qadir al-Sakneh, Syrian civil war. I remember Abu Muaz al-Maghrebi, Syrian civil war. I remember Osmanovich Shecho, Bosnian genocide. I remember Jananovic Reggio, Bosnian genocide. I remember Kocha Fethiye, Kosovo war. I remember Tahir Reksa, Kosovo war. I remember Mureranziza Adeodatus, Rwandan genocide. I remember Rurangirwa Jean Bosco, Rwandan genocide. I remember one unidentified Syrian civil war. I remember Ahmad Mohammed Dukmak, Syrian civil war. I remember Joaquin Arino, Argentine dirty war. I remember Samir Omar Shmayet, Syrian civil war. I remember Hamide Suhogerla, Kosovo war. I remember Mujiambere Emmanuel, Rwandan genocide. I remember Anna Fogel, Holocaust. I remember Lela Altarak, Holocaust. I remember Maria Emilia Monasterolo, Argentine dirty war. I remember Kayes Saad al-Din, Syrian civil war. I remember Georgi Farkas, Holocaust. I remember Abraham Sussman, Holocaust. I remember Mvunabo Ferdinand, Rwandan genocide.
I remember Abraham Wenger, perished in the Holocaust. I remember Ohiville Dull Knife, perished in the Sand Creek Massacre of Native Americans in 1864. I remember Adamovic Bekto, perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 44. I remember Rachi Sinan, perished in the Kosovo War. I remember Neon Shuti J. Bosco, perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Mohammed Mayo, perished in the Syrian civil war in 2015. I remember Ingabayar, perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Israel Adnan Tatin, perished in the Syrian civil war in 2014. I remember Azril Sayak, perished in the Holocaust at the age of 1. I remember Ahmed Abed al-Fadel, perished in the Syrian civil war in 2014. I remember Getaye Katab perished in the Syrian civil war in 2013. I remember Muzik Anver perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 19. I remember Lily Hop perished in the Holocaust at the age of 41. I remember Mohammed Samir al-Radif perished in the Syrian civil war in 2012. I remember Hajdini Hajriz perished in the Kosovo war. I remember Khalil Klif al-Ali Yafis Marsumi perished in the Syrian civil war in 2012. I remember Rabuhungi Antoine perished in the Rwandan genocide at the age of 54. I remember Shvi Weiss perished in the Holocaust at the age of 47. I remember Petar Vasiljokovic perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 69. I remember Orik Sahin perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 43. I remember Azimi Murati perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 39. I remember Orlando Menezes perished in the East Timor genocide at the age of 16. I remember Umair Giselle perished in the Rwandan genocide at the age of 4. I remember Kamanzi Jean perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Ibrik Ramiz perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 57. I remember Yoma al-Kamiz perished in the Syrian civil war in 2013. I remember Mahmoud Salah al-Fakhuri perished in the Syrian civil war in 2014. I remember Vladimir Ilich perished in the Kosovo war at the age of 50. I remember Tahir Betiraj perished in the Kosovo war at the age of 58. I remember Domingos Frederico perished in the East Timor genocide at the age of 18. I remember Alik Ibrahim perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 55. I remember Mukanyarwaya Malani perished in the Rwandan genocide in 1994. I remember Aurelio Heriberto Diaz perished in the Argentine Dirty War. I remember Riwa Makovicki perished in the Holocaust at the age of 51. I remember Abisevic Alio perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 40. I remember Rati Rubin perished in the Holocaust at the age of 4.
Hasanovich Hussein, Bosnian genocide. Istref Kadriou, Kosovo War. Amjad Jamal al-Arab, Syrian Civil War. Nshimiyimana Deo, Rwandan genocide. Raphael Werber, Holocaust. Muhammad Faour, Syrian Civil War. Manal Hussein al-Alawi, Syrian Civil War. Milorad Danicic, Kosovo War. Avdic Samid, Bosnian genocide. Huat Bofana, Cambodian genocide. Ibrahimovic Omer, Bosnian genocide. Alla Rubashova, Holocaust. Uk Siam, Cambodian genocide. Musa Abdullah Zaino, Syrian Civil War. Dedic Mevludin, Bosnian genocide. Ziprinka Zifman, Holocaust. Wada Zakaria, Syrian Civil War. Son of Yusuf Barjas al-Toma, Syrian Civil War. Burim Ademi, Kosovo War. Eric Wangerin, Argentine Dirty War. Kayatsinga Evariste, Rwandan Genocide. Malagik Nurif, Bosnian Genocide. Yok Chantha, Cambodian Genocide. Jamal Hajo, Syrian Civil War. Berisha Ismet, Kosovo War. Frajdil Zuster, Holocaust. Vostio Kist Whitecaft, Sand Creek Massacre of Native Americans in 1864. Mohammad Rajab Tamro, Syrian Civil War. Abdul Qadir Jarada, Syrian Civil War. Menahem Papo, Holocaust. Big Smoke, Sand Creek Massacre of Native Americans in 1864. Mehich Rasim, Bosnian Genocide. Khaled Sultan al-Zurayik, Syrian Civil War. Izya Krasniansky, Holocaust. Dizdarevich Hedib, Bosnian Genocide. Louis Adolfo Holmquist, Argentine Dirty War. Vahid Zakiri, Kosovo War. Busya Pupko, Holocaust. Hasanovich Zahid, Bosnian Genocide. Tarek Yasmine, Syrian Civil War. Musa Gashi, Kosovo War. Turekin Arazian, Armenian Genocide. Mohammad Abada Bassam al-Sabuni, Syrian Civil War. Susanna Revez, Holocaust. Mukansanga Emerthe, Rwandan Genocide. Amara Oyan, Syrian Civil War. Hamada Darwish, Syrian Civil War. Taganzwa Bingwa Yutuma, Rwandan Genocide. Estera Rosenzweig, Holocaust. Tai Kim Srai, Cambodian Genocide. Fradi Mezlez, Holocaust. Hovannes der Hagopian, Armenian Genocide. Mikhail Friedenthal, Holocaust.
I remember Ede Hirschler, Holocaust. I remember Zukanovich Hussein, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Mohammed Ahmad Zen al-Din, Syrian Civil War. I remember Bashar Youssef Ghunem, Syrian Civil War. I remember Agak Makuak Maketh, South Sudan Civil War. I remember Luan Thavarak, Cambodian Genocide. I remember Mela Niger, Holocaust. I remember Halik Bisi, Kosovo War. I remember Muhammad Ezeldin al-Ashkar, Syrian Civil War. I remember Bimen Der Vartanian, Armenian Genocide. I remember Minas Noraznian, Armenian Genocide. I remember Kika Ramiz, Kosovo War. I remember Barthogimos Gobalian, Armenian genocide. I remember Ammar Ashtar, Syrian civil war. I remember Zulkifli Ibrahim, Bosnian genocide. I remember Tabakovic Hamed, Bosnian genocide. I remember Avdik Zulfo, Bosnian genocide. I remember Abimana Bonaventure, Rwandan genocide. I remember Mururokwere, Rwandan genocide. I remember William Honig, Holocaust. I remember Gevant der Marzarian, Armenian genocide. I remember Tirandekura, Rwandan genocide. I remember Shamdin Hussein al-Rashi, Syrian civil war. I remember Hisen Shala, Kosovo war. I remember Zvi Colton, Holocaust. I remember Khem Si Gat, Cambodian genocide. I remember Shatik Farouk, Bosnian genocide. I remember Bashir Mohammed Boudani, Syrian civil war. I remember Tavakovic Hazim, Bosnian genocide. I remember Hajdarich Mujo, Bosnian genocide. I remember Twagirayesu Azalias, Rwandan genocide. I remember Kam On, Cambodian genocide. I remember Kostik Marko, Kosovo war. I remember Frida Lewu, Holocaust. I remember Lalich Sabahuddin, Bosnian genocide. I remember Smailovic Yusuf, Bosnian genocide. I remember Enrique Gonzalo Diaz Macias, Argentine dirty war. I remember Dalif Gashi, Kosovo war. I remember Gusia Bornstein, Holocaust. I remember Julio Reinaldo Mailan, Argentine dirty war. I remember Zvonimir Nishik, Kosovo war. I remember Ahmed Fadil Allah Diab, Syrian civil war. I remember Vortanes der Harotunian, Armenian genocide. I remember Rosa Bardach, Holocaust. I remember Hafizovich Muhammad, Bosnian genocide. I remember Bichich Osman, Bosnian genocide. I remember Danya Adelsman, Holocaust. I remember K. Kosal, Cambodian genocide. I remember Bilal Ghazi Kaftan al-Qud, Syrian civil war. I remember Barbatovici Ismail, Kosovo War. I remember Rusika Simonovic, Kosovo War. I remember Wolf Verwerger, Holocaust. I remember Jakub Dushi, Kosovo War. I remember Uke Mazureku, Kosovo War. I remember Smashik Azmir, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Mehane Making, Sand Creek Massacre of Native Americans. I remember Kandic Kedomir, Kosovo War. I remember Sharif Dibrani, Kosovo War. I remember Serena Schwarz, Holocaust. I remember Khaled Mohammed Wardeh, Syrian Civil War. I remember Khaldun Mohammed Qatifan, Syrian Civil War. I remember Vanita, Spanish woman, Sand Creek Massacre of Native Americans. I remember Joaquin Vicente Arqueros, Argentine Dirty War. I remember Beshik Esed, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Abd al-Rauf Araba Wak, Syrian Civil War. I remember Alyssa Arav, Holocaust. I remember Mikhail Levitt, Holocaust. I remember Chaim Seiper, Holocaust. I remember Amer al-Rashid, Syrian Civil War. I remember Husik Ramo, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Amali Yeager, Holocaust. I remember Nishan Gabzamalian, Armenian Genocide. I remember Movsei Dur Movsesian, Armenian Genocide. I remember Susan Youssef Abzed, Syrian Civil War. I remember Risanovic Bahadil, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Hajdin Riksepi, Kosovo War. I remember Mohammed al-Jerzi, Syrian Civil War. I remember Binak Faraj, Kosovo War. I remember Kunich Farudin, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Karimi Enver, Kosovo War. I remember Ahmad Awad Mohammed Najleh, Syrian Civil War. I remember Urira Usaba Marie, Rwandan Genocide. I remember Enver Batusha, Kosovo War. I remember Pasik Mesud, Bosnian Genocide. I remember Istvan Grunwald, Holocaust. I remember Kazi Marie Claire, Rwandan Genocide. I remember Mahmoud Mustafa Dado, Syrian Civil War. I remember Mariano Mendonca, East Timor genocide. I remember Murare Movic Ibrahim, Bosnian genocide. I remember Hussein al-Abd al-Salem, Syrian civil war. I remember Beatriz Arango, Argentine dirty war. I remember Mara Yasevich, Holocaust. I remember Kayed al-Hussein, Syrian civil war. I remember Akram Haytham Sayed Isa, Syrian civil war. I remember Ahmed Abakar Yahya, Darfur genocide. I remember Ben Zion Spielberg, Holocaust. I remember Taha Hussein al-Bakri, Syrian civil war. I remember Cha Rong, Cambodian genocide. I remember Claude, Rwandan genocide. I remember Shalva Mamistvalovi, Holocaust. I remember Mukandori Trifin, Rwandan genocide. I remember Moshe Ogurek, Holocaust. I remember Hussein Mahmoud al-Waki, Syrian civil war. I remember Syed al-Sheikh Hassan, Syrian civil war. I remember Uwase, Rwandan genocide. I remember Misanovich Zulfo, Bosnian genocide. I remember Musik Weissman, Holocaust. I remember Rudasingwa Andre, Rwandan genocide. I remember Rushit Luta, Kosovo war. I remember Ahmad Hussein Jabur, Syrian civil war. I remember Mukandakizi Leokadi, Rwandan genocide. I remember Emil Moskovitz, Holocaust. I remember Hannah Shenbrun, Holocaust. I remember Shipe Gansbrigg, Holocaust. I remember Noor Muhammad Ali, Syrian civil war. I remember Bajram Bajramaj, Kosovo war. I remember Adnan Muhammad, Syrian civil war. I remember Gagmera Christian, Rwandan genocide. I remember Ade Herscheller, Holocaust.
I remember Sioux Soth, Cambodian genocide. I remember Mohammed Azizi, Syrian civil war. I remember Atif Abdullah Krad, Syrian civil war. I remember Romualdo Baptista, East Timor genocide. I remember Bulja Basilk Alvagia, Bosnian genocide. I remember Mahitap Ahmed Al-Dirkili, Syrian civil war. I remember Habib Mujota, Kosovo war. I remember Abdullah Abdul Halim al-Jadlan, Syrian Civil War. I remember Qasem Muhammad Husram, Syrian Civil War. I remember Mahmoud Zakaria Shihadeh, Syrian Civil War. I remember Abu Abdullah al-Ghaffar Khalif, Syrian Civil War. I remember Sarang, Cambodian genocide. I remember Moshe Begarovitz, Holocaust. I remember Marilla Sosensky, Holocaust. I remember Allah Ahmad al-Habib al-Dagim, Syrian Civil War. I remember Maman C. Bahiro Fausta, Rwandan genocide. I remember Kabiona J. Dedu, Rwandan genocide. I remember Suljik Sabit, Bosnian genocide. I remember Estucia Srebrenik, Holocaust. I remember Mujinovic Bragib, Bosnian genocide. I remember Gasimba Nigira, Rwandan genocide. I remember Yagishi Balerian, Armenian genocide. I remember Mias Keen, Cambodian genocide. I remember Nedeljo Kovic Ranko, Kosovo War. I remember Murasira Patrice, Rwandan genocide. I remember Samira Jamal al-Darwish, Syrian Civil War. I remember Adnan al-Tari, Syrian Civil War. I remember Hadzik Saleh, Bosnian genocide. I remember Majub al-Dalati, Syrian Civil War. I remember Niara Kadeli Brigitte, Rwandan genocide. I remember Israel Dorfman, Holocaust. I remember Omirovic Salim. I remember Mura Sodonyi Gakumba, Rwandan genocide. I remember Murangira Gaspard, Rwandan genocide. I remember Julia Mueller, Holocaust. I remember Recep Secdu, Kosovo War. I remember Kermera, Rwandan genocide. I remember Eduardo Carriera, Argentine Dirty War. I remember Kavumu Jean, Rwandan genocide. I remember Hovhannes Hovhannessian, Armenian genocide.
My name is Alan Bell. My father was a survivor of the Holocaust, and I read so these terrible events don't happen again for prevention. Osama El Ghazi perished in the Syrian war in 2013. Hiba Hussein al-Kujo perished in the Syrian Civil War 2013. Hatak Samir perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 29. Teresa Ramona Manini perished in the Argentine Dirty War. Andrea Leb perished in the Holocaust at the age of 24. Albuget Miho perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 70. Ibastam Abd al-Wahib perished in the Syrian Civil War, 2013. Abu Bakr perished in the Syrian Civil War, 2014. Bazak Jawab perished in the Holocaust at the age of 8. Muzi perished in the Rwanda genocide at the age of 12. Advik Reflek perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 18. Victor Gelfand perished in the Holocaust. Jenna Kislov perished in the Holocaust at the age of 7. Hussein El Nasso perished in the Syrian Civil War. Boris Fuchs perished in the Holocaust at the age of 32. Bershaya Zemet perished in the Kosovo War. Ramko Ramo perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 38. Walter Langer perished in the Holocaust at the age 40. Kajwana perished in the Rwanda genocide, 1994. Niraganza Verdane perished in the Rwanda genocide, 1994. Hark Graber perished in the Holocaust at the age of 7. Mohammed Jamil Romana perished in the Syrian Civil War, 2013. Gevorg Hormozonian perished in the Armenian genocide. Matavik Ivar perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 24. Hamdo Kawash perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2012. Masir Dushi perished in the Kosovo War at the age of 23. Dazovic Hussein perished in the Bosnian genocide at age 39. Abdullah Talal Kuzma perished in the Syrian Civil War in 2014. Brajna Rosen perished in the Holocaust at the age of 50. Mazin Kudo perished in the Syrian Civil War, 2013. Ulik Slepnan perished in the Holocaust, age 6. Mohammed Muhammad Haj Kali perished in the Syrian Civil War, 2012. Fernando Ley perished in the East Timor genocide at the age of 30. Nkuzuba Diamor perished in the Rwandan genocide at the age of 4. Shoal Luho Hoth perished in the South Sudan Civil War. Perished in the Bosnian genocide at the age of 23, Isaac Mimas. I also add David Belsky and Bella Belsky, my grandparents, perished in the Holocaust.